Okay, so what I'm going to show you now, it's just it's a very watered-down version of a industry document that I'm preparing here with colleagues. And I also want to I'm happy going on the record now saying that this type of work is part of the reason that I received that Rafato Award a couple of years ago by sharing. Join the party.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt? This is part of the reason I think I received that Rafato Award a couple of years ago, because I am bringing my business practice experiences into the classroom. So like I said, this is very watered down version, but let me just show you where I started off with this, because we're now in the final chunk of the course, which is economics. So this is, you can probably tell from that's my my language. And so, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money on Wall Street. There's a lot of money in Miami. And if the predictions are right, and I think what you're about to see is very much worst case scenario. Skip ad. This is from a business website. This isn't treehugger.org or whatever. Yeah. But this is a simulation of what happens if all the fresh water that's currently locked in ice, it melts. Yeah, this is kind of very much worst case scenario. We don't know. It's a model. It's a prediction. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah. Sick. So that, there's some economic, social issues at stake. And again, I think that, that's kind of worst case scenario, and, it's fairly obvious that it's just based on really nothing more than just geometry, right? What's the elevation of that location? What's the volume of water in the ice caps? So that's in a lot of ways the economic motivator for this paper, and it's one of those things where you hope you're wrong, right? You hope you're wrong. Okay, so I'm working with several entrepreneurs, inventors, academic foresters, and so this is a new, emerging term, carbon capture, utilization, sequestration, and I've heard other people say, oh, climate change is a conspiracy just so people can get rich on, but
You turn your light switch on, don't you?
yeah,
Energy is...
yeah, and so I think it's
It's not a myth, man. Energy's real.
People get rich on energy all the time too, so let's do it responsibly.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, sort of looking towards the future of our children and grandchildren. So what we're looking to do is there's 150 million tons of dry standing timber in Montana right now. And just before you got on here, Matt, we're talking about forest thinning. And what we'd like to do is invest a portion of the $2 billion per year fire budget into responsible thinning. Right, so now you've got this resource.
Our fire crew's been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah, so it's time to make that happen. And then what we would do, some of the technology we're working on, we would actually scrub stacks. So I don't see civilization banning fire itself anytime soon. So as long as something is on fire, though, let's figure out what to do with the emissions. Colstrip, by the way, runs at 2 gigawatts. And so we figured with this rate of harvesting in Montana, we could scrub Colstrip and keep it turned on. Scrub it, take the CO2 out of its flue, so you're not, turn Colstrip into a carbon neutral facility. Heavy metal.
You can get it neutral.
Coal ash, what's that?
You can get it neutral.
Well, probably not, just whatever the best you can do, better.
90%
Yeah.
is a whole lot better.
Well, and we also had that little discussion, an hour or so ago, talking about the fact that you're never going to do anything to help the environment. It's just sort of picking your poison.
And that's
in
why
this
it's hard,
space.
it's preventative care.
Yeah.
2 gigawatts is all we're getting out of the coal strip?
Yeah, is that not enough for you?
It's not enough. We can do better with other stuff. I mean, it's only 2 gigs, we can come up with that
We
somewhere
have a
else.
million people in the state yet.
Well,
Right out the south window.
we're exporting, almost all of our energy, and Washington too. And the issue right now is Washington doesn't want to buy carbon-based energy from Montana anymore.
Carbon capture storage.
Exactly. So the next part of the economics is how do you do some carbon accounting? So there are international carbon economies where one polluter will pay into a fund that doesn't pollute. And so we look at it from two standpoints. One is keeping the CO2 out of the atmosphere in the first place with the thinning, and then the second round obviously is doing it using that biomass as a sequestration itself with the technology that I'm not at liberty to discuss. And also the other issues, you might do a little bit of co-firing. So you burn some of the wood itself as an energy product. Missoula right now is moving towards becoming a zero waste community. We'll see if that happens, and it means your plastic bottle, your gum wrappers, your whatever. It's gonna go somewhere. And I've probably talked a little bit about this. Jason's heard it before, but the sort of burn, bury, or build solutions, and with the plastics. Right now, we're just burying it in the landfill, or you could say building a landfill with it. But the other option would be to burn it, to combust it for energy, do the carbon capture, and then, so that's where the plastics would end up going. I had a nice little conversation with the Story of Stuff guy. It was a riot. I got to show you this one. Story of Stuff. And these guys are mainly going after plastic pollution. So you can take a look at that.
That's gonna help out in Stockholm.
Oh, in fact, Stiv, the man that talked, let me see if I can find Stiv here. Got a chance to meet him. Stiv? Awesome. Yeah, so there's Stiv. The man was actually in the Pacific, swimming with the plastic and fishing and pulling the plastic chunks out of the guts of the fish and the whole thing. So kind of neat to kind of neat to meet him.
Yeah, he's got his hands in the project.
Yeah,
Stories stuff.
It's actually nice to have birds.
I'm gonna contact him in real time right now. Info for his stuff.
Hey, congrats on these really wonderful.
What was it?
It was a while ago, it was right after you said you were talking to the senator, and then the next day I see in the paper, the senator talks about energy jobs.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, snap, energy jobs in the paper, I'd like to see that.
Nice, nice. Was it early this week? Week's just blowing by. Here's a link to the magazine. To having you help me promote my book. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I was in the press recently with Missoula Valley Lifestyle magazine.
Oh, shit.
It was pretty fun, yeah. So I think I must have. Let's see, how do you go to previous? Oh, look at that! Most recently was Friday. Let's see if I can- Oh, there it is. That's a good search engine.
Oh, yeah, so I was.
Yeah. Oh, was it hanging out in the hall?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was, I don't know, fun little deal. But Steve said he would help. So that, here's the bike. I think, maybe. Oh, and so there's a big ball of plastic coming down the mountain. Hopefully not dropping any in the ocean on the way.
I haven't seen you drop any yet, I see you driving down the road. Like, there you go.
There he goes, the man with the giant bag of plastic. Okay, well, guys, I have to go grab lunch here.
I was gonna say, I emailed you just kind of a slightly updated thing, I still have more work to do on it, obviously, but.
Yeah.
Anything you could specify?
Yeah, I'll kick it back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because, I've got my bearings on getting, but it's something we could.
No, that's how it works.
narrow my search.
Yeah, that's how it works. All right, are we good? Enough?
Oh,
Good.
My Transformer breadboard together.
Nice. Do it. Do it. See you, Matt.
See you, man.
All right. Yeah, so I think everything is now turned on, visible. I'm gonna just take a peek in here, see if I can't find the week 5 quiz answers.
I think all those
Are those closed?
turned off, yeah.
Okay, I'll just go back and turn them back on this afternoon. Once we're there. And I might need, let's see, one more forum post.
Yeah, we have one more for
Is this it? No, where's the forum? Is this the forum?
that discussion.
Oh, yeah. There's 2 green things, confuse me. Add new discussion.
Even in the research I've been doing on the sewage treatment facility, they're talking about carbon credit offsets, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Missoula.
Nice, yep. Think we can do it. This is the place to do it. Need to fuel myself.
And get back in National Geographic for a good thing.
Say again?
Oh, if we can do good in Missoula.
Oh, right, yeah, yes, exactly. Let's get National Geographic here on a positive note instead of
I
the
think.
negative
We're in
stuff.
like a 1963 article.
Yeah.